It's getting bigger. It's gonna be okay.
You'll be okay, Jake. Don't worry. I'll get you taken care of.
Take care of him.
You'll be ready for the fight, Jake. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be a contender.
Oh God. Am I gonna be okay?
And I feel like 58, 27, the age is not a factor. That's a wash, right? Experience level obviously is gonna go to Mike Tyson, but Jake's got a screw.
Jake Paul just earned himself a one-way ticket to the hospital after what's being called a botched suicide attempt. Yep, you read that right, a failed attempt. The guy who claims to be untouchable thought he could dodge his fate with a cheap stunt, but little did he know, his destiny's already sealed. Here's the kicker, the so-called poison they found in his stomach. Harmless, it's a substance that people use when they're panicking. Looks like Jake's fear is showing, his tough guy act is falling apart. All those hyped up promos and fake confidence, crumbling. Jake's facade is slipping, and deep down, he knows he's not fooling anyone. On November 8th, 2024, Jake Paul, self-proclaimed boxing star, trash talker extraordinaire, and the internet's favorite punching bag, was discovered unconscious in his mansion. No, he wasn't knocked out by a real fighter, he was taken down by a chemical preservative, sodium nitrite, to be specific.
How you feel now compared to when you were fighting?
I feel I don't have to call people bad names. I feel really happy.
And as a fighter,
I'll be better by the time of the fight.
you're the fighter that you were when you were the youngest heavyweight champion. Are you still that guy? Are you a different fighter, or do you still imagine you are what you were?
Well, no, I know I never lied to myself, but I know I'm good enough.
He ingested 15 grams of it. Classic Jake, turning what could have been a serious moment into a laughable spectacle. The poison messed with his blood's ability to carry oxygen, leaving him gasping for air and dropping like he was in one of his TikTok stunts. But even in a life or death situation, Jake still managed to look like a clown. His grand poisoning act was a complete failure. Doctors at Cedars-Sinai saved him with methylene blue and oxygen therapy because, of course, Jake couldn't even commit to something as serious as a tragedy properly. Naturally, the news blew up and social media erupted like a volcano of sarcasm, with memes flooding the internet faster than Jake's desperate attempts to stay relevant. His fanbase clung to whatever dignity he had left, sobbing over their fallen hero, while the rest of us couldn't help but roll our eyes at the spectacle. Was this another one of his stunts? An Oscar-worthy bid for sympathy? Or maybe a last-ditch ploy to escape the real nightmare looming over him, his scheduled showdown with Mike Tyson on November 15th? Then came the investigation.
My friend's in there. It's an emergency.
Come on, Jake. We gotta get you on the journey.
What's up, Jake? Hey, man.
I don't know.
Hey, we're here, man.
I gotta. It's really bad, man. I'm freaking out.
Hey guys, this looks bad. We need to take it back to BL.
Oh, thank you.
This ain't gonna work.
It's gonna be okay.
Oh,
Don't worry, we'll
All right.
stabilize it.
oh.
Alright, let's do this.
All right, let's get him the gurney. Ready?
LAPD officers swept through his mansion, and guess what? No signs of forced entry, no masked intruders lurking in the shadows. What they found was a sloppy note, hastily scribbled by Jake himself, whining about pressure and expectations. Seriously, that's what you leave behind. If you're going to make headlines, at least go out with a bang, not a whimper. And to top it off, the sodium nitrite purchased was traced back to Jake himself. Talk about leaving a digital footprint the size of a toddler's tantrum. Even experts couldn't help but shake their heads. Sodium nitrite is what you use to preserve meat, not make a name for yourself in boxing history. But hey, Jake's never exactly been known for making the smartest decisions. Doctors worked quickly to bring him back, and by the morning of November 9th, Jake Paul was awake and, unfortunately for him, very much alive. His reputation, on the other hand, had taken a serious beating. Even Tyson couldn't have delivered a worse blow. Jake's tough guy persona was shattered, leaving him looking like a frightened child who had finally realized playtime was over. The whole bravado-filled shtick he'd built his career on, it crumbled into a spectacular mess.
Age is not a factor, that's a wash, right? Experience level obviously is going to go to Mike Tyson, but Jake's got to
Will be up against. He'll get teased for taking this fight, for one. He'll get teased for that. He'll work himself through that. But yeah, if he goes out there and cleans his clock, they're going to come down.
And then there's Tyson, the real destroyer of souls. With 50 wins, 44 of them by knockout, he sent his opponents straight into a realm of eternal regret. That's a real fighter. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's record, 10 wins, padded with opponents who were either old enough to collect Social Security or never should have stepped foot in a boxing ring. But Jake, ever the marketing genius, milked his fight with Tyson for all it was worth. He posted hyped-up videos of himself sparring with heavyweights, trying to convince us that he had any chance at all. His confidence was almost inspiring, if it wasn't so completely laughable. Now, the theories surrounding Jake Paul's latest hospital trip are more outlandish than his career choices. One popular take: the whole thing was just a stunt, a desperate attempt to sidestep his November 15th showdown with Tyson, because, let's be honest, the pressure was clearly breaking him from day one. It was obvious that Jake had bitten off more than he could chew. His obnoxious trash talk, endless hype videos, and social media flexing were nothing more than smoke and mirrors.
He can step on the wrong eggshell and let off a combination that can kill most people. No boy. He has the power and ability to shift organs in your body if he hits you with the right force, right? So I think he forgot more technique than Jake Paul has ever learned.
Deep down, the guy knew he was toast. So when people suggest he orchestrated this poisoning just to avoid a royal beatdown, it's not exactly a stretch. Manipulating the narrative is practically Jake's hobby. If faking a near-death experience could buy him more time to avoid Tyson's fists, you bet he'd consider it. But fine, let's humor the alternative theory for a second. Maybe Jake really did try to check out of this world for real, consumed by personal struggles. Even then, how tragically ironic is it that the big bad Jake Paul, who built his empire on fearless bravado, couldn't handle the very pressure he created for himself? It's tragic, yes, but also kind of comical. Critics haven't been kind, and rightfully so. Jake's being called out for what he is, a loudmouth braggart who folds like a cheap tent when real pressure hits. Media outlets have been ripping apart his so-called mental strength, questioning whether he ever truly intended to stand toe-to-toe with Tyson in the first place. Talk is cheap, and Jake's proven he's got plenty of it. But when it's time to back it up...
Yeah, man, he's looking really, really good. I'm definitely a little bit crazy, and I'm definitely a little bit scared. You know, this is the toughest fight I've had to date against the most experienced opponent. It's at heavyweight, and Tyson's dropping people in sparring. He looks the best shape and the strongest he's ever been is what his coaches are.
Like, he's not fighting a MMA guy. He's not fighting a wrestler. He's not fighting an entertainer. He's fighting a boxer. I don't care how old the age gap is. He's fighting a...
He crumbles like stale bread. Fans and haters alike are trapped in endless debates. Was this a meticulously planned ploy, or was Jake truly a broken man in need of help? The timing couldn't be sketchier, and it's all fueling the theory that Jake never intended to fight in the first place. Maybe he was always looking for an exit, and this poisoning fiasco became his golden ticket. It's a circus, and Jake's the ringmaster, performing an act that no one's buying anymore. This entire mess has cast a dark cloud over the upcoming fight, and the tension is palpable. Will Jake even be fit, physically or mentally, to step into the ring? Promoters are sweating bullets, terrified of having to reschedule or, worse, cancel the event. The supposed fight of the year is hanging by a thread, all because Jake Paul couldn't keep his ego and anxieties in check. The fans, the money, the hype, it's all on the verge of crashing. Even Tyson, the legend everyone's dying to see, has been dragged into this swirling nightmare. As for Tyson, his reaction has been classically badass. He's not wasting time on Jake's drama. Tyson remains laser-focused on the fight, ready to swing his fists as planned. Mike Tyson has made some empathetic remarks about mental health and the pressure athletes face, but let's be real, Tyson is a living wrecking ball. His focus is sharp, winning. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is caught up in drama.
fighting the one fighter that most people fear. And I feel like 58, 27, the age is not a factor. That's a wash, right? Experience level obviously is going to go to Mike Tyson. But Jake's got a...
Tyson, he's calm, cool, and in the gym, preparing like the professional he is. He knows the difference between showbiz and real combat, and trust me, he's ready for the latter. Jake, on the other hand, seems to be second-guessing his decision. He's already saying that footage from Tyson's training camp has him contemplating. And now the boxing community is in turmoil. This situation has sparked a messy debate about how athletes are treated, whether there's enough support for their mental health, and if the industry needs reform. But the irony is thick. Jake Paul, the self-proclaimed king of the ring, has unwittingly become the face of everything wrong with the pressure cooker culture he once thrived in. There's talk of rethinking fight preparations and ensuring fighters are mentally stable. But let's be honest, in a few months, Jake's whole ordeal might just be forgotten tabloid fodder. So what's next for Jake? Will he appear on a podcast talking about how fame is a burden, how the pressure was too much, or blame mental health struggles for his predicament? It's hard to feel sympathy when you've built your career on taunting, belittling opponents, and stacking a resume with joke fights. Heck, you couldn't even get yourself sabotaged right, and that's as Jake Paul as it gets. One thing's clear, Jake's biggest opponent isn't any boxer, it's his own disastrous sense of showmanship. November 15th is approaching, and there's no backing out now. Whether he gets pummeled or somehow pulls off another miraculous stunt to escape his fate, the world is watching. He's made his bed, and now he has to lie in it.
Let's watch it, because it's one of my favorite fights to watch Tyson, because it's Tyson in his prime where he was terrifying. He was so fast, and he would do angles, and he was bobbing and weaving. You couldn't hit him, and he was just